Dear students, I welcome you all for the first chapter of History, Advent of Europeans to India. In the previous sessions, we have discussed the first political science chapter, the problems of India and their solutions. Today, let us discuss about the first history chapter, Advent of Europeans to India. So, in this session, we are going to discuss the arrival of the Europeans to India and their trade relationship with the subcontinent India, the different battles fought with the native rulers. While discussing the bridge course, some of the basic concepts, I have given you some knowledge regarding the different periods of history, the ancient and the medieval history, and the modern. So, early and the later, all these three periods. Today, we are going to discuss a chapter that's mainly which occurred in the modern period, early modern period. So, we have to discuss in the Middle Ages. As we all know that if you have the knowledge, I hope you have the knowledge of the Indian history, many of the events, the trade relationship of India with other nations. In the medieval ages, as we all know that India had the trade relationship with Arab and the Italian merchants. So the merchants of Arab and Italian, they had the trading relationship with India, and what they used to do, they used to sell it to the European countries. As you can see in this image, the Constantinople was the gateway of European trade. So trade took place during Middle Ages through Constantinople. That was the center of international trade. That was called as the gateway of European trade. So, in the Middle Ages, till the end of the Middle Ages, all the trading relationship or the trading process was carried out with the help of the land route. So, in the modern age, as the entry or the advent of the Europeans to India, what happened? One of the very, very important incident or the event which took place that made this Europeans to discover a new sea route to India. So, what do you mean by fall of Constantinople here? What were the consequences of the fall of Constantinople? The land route in the year 1453 AD, the Ottoman Turks captured the city of Constantinople. As a result, all the trade routes connecting the city of Constantinople came under the Turks. And what they used to do, they started to levy more taxes. So it was not a profitable on the part of the traders. So the land route was blocked, and for a period of time, we can say that there was no trading process carried out. So that paved the way for the invention of compass, astrolabe, and the gunpowder and all this. So we can understand here, all this trading process was blocked at that point of time. That paved the way for the discovery of new sea route to India. You can see in this image the written spices. Now the next question, what made these Europeans to discover a sea route? Why they didn't keep quiet? They wanted to have the trading process to carry out. So the suppressing demand for the spices. Here we have to understand, having said that, there are 3G. Why did the Europeans come to India? To spread religion, God, to regain glory, talking about to have their continue the trading process, and for gold, for trading process. So wanted to have their name, fame, and wanted to spread their religion, Christianity. So these are the, you can remember this, 3G, having said that. But actually, what was the main cause for their trading, or why did they come to India, the subcontinent, and many of the other Asian countries, were especially spices, the black pepper. And it also, one of the factors that paved the way for their very cold winters, the cold climate, and how they used to preserve the meat using these spices. So there was a suppressing demand for spices. And you know that, children, India, one of the, as the oldest exports of India is spices, or all the spices are spices. So to preserve meat, they used to have. So you can see in this image, Europe, the main reason for their arrival or the advent, to suppressing demand for spices. Now let's see who and all the European nationals, the players, as we know that, who wanted to have their name, glory, name and fame, and their trading: Portuguese, Dutch, British, Danes. Here we are not going to study. And the last one is the French. For a short period of time, the Danes had, so we are not going to study about that. So the Portuguese were the first one to enter. Portugal, the nation. Portuguese were the people. The Portugal, the European nation, the Portuguese were the first people. Here we have to remember, you can see in this, through the sea route. They were the first one to come to India. Here the credit goes to Vasco da Gama. In this image you can see Vasco da Gama. He, for the first time, who discovered sea route to India, and that paved the way for to continue their trade with the subcontinent India. Here, children, I want you to remember these two terms. Colonialism. What do you mean by colonialism? Here, colonies, trading centers. India was one among that. So India was also one of the trading center, and through that they were having their trading system, or the trading process through which. So the Vasco da Gama, he was the first one to come discover sea route. He reached Calicut. Next, the Portuguese, the three important people who played a great role in strengthening the trade in India were Vasco da Gama, Francisco de Almeida, and Francisco de Almeida came as a viceroy Portuguese, and he established a supremacy over the sea, and he implemented blue water policy. One of the important questions, the point of view of examination. What is blue water policy? Here mainly to establish the supremacy over the sea instead of supremacy over land. So write that one question. What do you mean by blue water policy? Who implemented? Francisco de Almeida. And Alfonso de Albuquerque, he was considered as a real founder of Portuguese Empire in India. So Vasco da Gama, the first Portuguese who discovered sea route to India, and the Portuguese were the first people who came to India, and till last, they were the last one to exit or to leave India. As we all know that 1947 we attained independence, but still they had their control over Goa, Diu and Daman. The next one, the European nations who had arrived in India were Dutch. They were from Netherlands. If you observe all these Europeans, they had their companies. And Dutch East India Company started in the year 1602 and emerged as powerful. Till the Britishers had their entry, these people, they were very powerful, and like the country, India and many of the other places, Java, Sumatra, Indonesia, many of the islands, they had their trading process through which, They established warehouses in Surat, Broch, and Cochin, Nagapatnam. Children, if you observe this image in India, all their trading centers, or we can say that the coastal region, as we all know that, ports through which they had their sea route. No, of course, I hope you can understand. See, that was paid a advantage on their part. So the Dutch limited themselves to the Spice Island in Indonesia, as the Britishers had their entry or advent to India. So this is the image through which we can understand the Dutch, they were very powerful during that time. The next one, the most powerful, as we all know that if you see the Indian history, the English, they had their long, we can say that the colony, many of the colonies or the trading centers, and at the same time, I want you to remember one more term, that is imperialism. What do you mean by imperialism? Having control over all these colonies. Imperialism, having control over all these colonies. So, English had their entry in the year 1600. They got the authority, or we can say that the Queen Elizabeth, you can see in this image, Queen Elizabeth issued a royal charter authorizing the East India Company to trade with eastern countries for 15 years. And at the same time, there were many of the native rulers, they were against to this. So what he did, the initiation taken by them, the Mughal Emperor Jahangir issued a royal permission to British to have their first warehouse or factory at Surat. Now if you ask me this question, what is this warehouse or the factory? It is just a factory, or it is not the, they used to manufacture the goods over there. They used to store the goods. Warehouse or the factory, they used to store the house. The first one, they had their colonies, that is through which Surat, they had the trading process. And Sir Thomas Roy arrived at the court of Jahangir, and as a royal ambassador, the court of James I. So what I can say in the simple words, they got the permission from the native rulers. They sought the permission and they established their factory at Surat, Agra, Ahmedabad and Broch. Write one question. Who was a Mughal emperor who gave permission to establish factories at Surat? Emperor Jahangir. Okay. Name the trading center or mention the trading centers of the British. I hope you do have that 4 names in your mind. Yes. And the Prince of England. See children, the development in this. What happened? The Prince of England gave Bombay on an annual rent of £10 to East India Company in 1668. So Charles II, the Prince of England, he gave Bombay as our place, our region, and they were having all their adjustment, and they were minting the money here like anything. And at the same time, by the 17th century, what we can understand here, English had established Bombay, Madras, Kolkata as the center of their presidencies. As I told you earlier, gradually all these colonies were there, they wanted to grab or wanted to have their power. They started to meddle with the internal politics. They were trying to defeat. So what we are going to learn now in the next topics, like the battles through which they were trying to defeat the native rulers. So we can say that at this point of time, at this juncture, the English people were more powerful than the Portuguese and the Dutch. The last one to arrive. So establishment of the warehouses or the trading centers and the factories, William Hawkins, his role, Thomas Roy, and the 4 factors. I hope you do have these answers in your mind. The last one to arrive to India and to have their East India Company were the French. So these companies through which they started their trade and had the trading process. In the year 1664, first at Surat, the factory, and Machilipatnam, Chandranagar, Mahe, Karaikal. These are some of the places, and if you observe all these places on the coastal region, that is advantage on their part, and all these places were the strong foothold they had. But what we can understand here, so in the 1664 they had their trading process with India, and they were trying to meddle with many of the territories or the colonial centers of the British that paved the way for misunderstanding, conflict between the English and the French. There started the, what we can understand, the four European nations: Portuguese, Dutch, English and the French. There was competition, there were fight among themselves, there was insecurity whether they are going to have their strong foothold or not, and they had their strong factories here. Children, at this point of time, what we can see that there was the problem in Europe also. All these European nations, they had the struggle. So that paved the way for Carnatic Wars. Children, last year this topic have been dropped from the syllabus. So it is a gist I am going to give you. There were 3 Carnatic Wars were fought between the French and the English. The first Carnatic, second Carnatic War and the third Carnatic War. In between that, what we can find, whatever the misunderstanding that was, and the struggle and the battle between the English and the French in Europe, and the same thing what we could see, the replica in the British, English, the British, French and the native rulers in India. At the end, what we can understand here, the third Carnatic War, the English defeating all their rivals. So what we can understand here, the Dutch, Portuguese and the French, they started consolidating their power. So what you have to remember here, they started to have the strong foothold on the Indian soil, particularly in South India. This is the picture what we can understand here, seeing this. Here, the European settlements in India, all the 4 European nations, British, French, and this is one of the picture. As you get the textbook, you have to draw this in your notes book, the topic and the questions relating to the different trading centers of all the Europeans: French, English, Dutch and the Portuguese. So you should remember this, the places, the Portuguese, Dutch, English and French, they are trading centers. I hope, children, you have understood whatever the topics that what we have discussed today. Now there are 2 more topics, that is Battle of Buxar, and last year Battle of Plassey was also dropped. But I will in the next session I will give you I will brief about these topics. Thank you, children.